In this lesson, we're going to talk about the critical component of investing, and that is buying. Buying is much like taking an airplane off. When you take off in an airplane, it's important to make sure that you do it properly. Take off too early, and the plane doesn't have enough airspeed, and you crash. These days, it's too easy to get an account at one of the online brokers. You fund it, and then you point your mouse and click on some shares, and pretty soon you own them. You've invested tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars with the click of a mouse. But do most people really know how to buy stock? The proper point to buy the stock so that you eliminate the odds of screwing up? We believe that buying a stock is a critical component to properly investing. If you do it right, it sets everything in motion behind it properly. And if you do it wrong, it can be catastrophic. So when you study a stock, how do you decide where to buy it? Well, if you've watched any of our other videos, you know that there's a spot on the chart that has the highest probability of you succeeding on your buy. And that means that if you buy it, you have less of a chance of getting shaken out, and you have more of a chance of that stock breaking out and continuing upwards. And that's what we want to get. We want to get those probabilities on our side. So let's see. Would you buy this stock there at the right-hand side of the chart? There's a lot of things not to like about it, but it looks good. The chart's moving upwards. It had a nice little consolidation here, and then it jumped way up on some good volume, and then it's continuing up, and it has kind of a cup and handle, although it's not properly formed and it's not symmetrical. But man, its stock just wants to keep going higher, and the relative strength line is going higher. It would be great to buy this. Or would it? You see, it's not the proper buy point. If you look at that volume, you see how the volume is decreasing as the stock is going higher. That is never a good sign. That means fewer people are interested in buying it. Here's the rest of the stock. If you bought it at that point, now you would have had to sit through a very large correction, a very swift correction on high volume. And most people can't sit through that, especially if you have good sell rules in. We talk about sell rules in our training on selling. So once you've been shaken out of that stock, now it's hard to get back into it. Emotionally, it's hard to buy something that you've been shaken out of, and it's hard to stay in something that goes down so swiftly and with such volume. So the key is to buy it at the right point so that you have that margin of error. You're buying it, that's where everybody else is buying it, and you have less chance of getting shaken out of that stock. So where are the proper buy points on this chart? Well, here they are. Notice how in 4.5 years, there are only 3 proper buy points on the entire chart. If you start to understand our system, you'll understand why buying is so critical. You need to wait for the right spot on the chart to have the best probabilities for succeeding when you buy that. Now notice on these buy points, they're proper buy points for a few reasons. Number 1, they're breaking out of a proper formation. And number 2, they're on good volume. The volume prospects are increasing during those breakout points. We want increasing volume when stocks are breaking out. Number 3, they're fairly early stage bases. The later the stage base, the more risky it is to be buying that stock, because that's when all the sellers start to come in and drive that stock lower. The ones that have already made the profit are starting to get out of that stock and drive you out of it and drive that stock lower. So did the stock end up going higher? Absolutely it did. You would have had to endure several periods of pain, but you would have had a nice reward at the end. The point is, why endure all that pain? There's a zillion other stocks that have proper buy points if you study them and you know what you're looking for. And in our system, once you find that, you increase the probability of hitting the right buy point and having a successful outcome.